Jeremy Weiss here. I'm founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders like the founders of P90X, Baby Einstein, Atari, and many more, and how they overcome big challenges in life and business. This is part of the e-commerce mastery series where top sellers and experts teach you what really works to boost your e-commerce business. No pressure, Brian. Our sponsor today is Rise25.com. If you're an entrepreneur running a 6, 7, or 8-figure business and want to grow and want to be around other top performers, this is for you. It's a group of top entrepreneurs that come together to solve their biggest business challenges and leave with lifelong friendships. Rise 25 is run by myself and co-founder John Corcoran, former White House writer under Bill Clinton, Silicon Valley attorney and entrepreneur. Check out Rise25.com. It's application only. Brian, today we have Brian Goulet. He's co-founder of the Goulet Pen Company with his wife Rachel. They run an online retail store focusing on fountain pens, ink, paper, and other tools for the writing enthusiast. They've grown it from a mom and pop startup from their dining room table to a multi-million-dollar operation with over 40 team members and a 12,000 square foot office space warehouse. Brian, thanks for joining me.
Absolutely, Jeremy. It's a thrill to be here. Thank you so much.
So Brian, since this is Inspired Insider, I always ask what's been the lowest moment and how you pushed through, and then what's been the proudest. So what's been the lowest moment, a tough time?
That's an easy one. Well, I've had a couple actually, related specifically to the business. I've had some personal stuff go on. I won't get into that, but related specifically to the business, it would be that event, Business Gets Personal. So here I get to meet my idols, the people who have helped me to achieve this incredible thing. We're in New York City and it's amazing. And literally that trip was one of the hardest trips for my wife that she's ever had.
Really?
She's struggled with anxiety. It's something that runs throughout her family. She's a very hard-driving, hard-performing individual, just like myself. But, you know, at times she's been crippled from anxiety of overworking herself and to the point where she physically, can't work. And she, at that time, this was several years ago, she's worked through a lot of that now, but it's not been without its challenges. So when we went to that event in New York, I'm not joking, she was sick in the bathroom at the airport, just thinking about even getting on the plane. And so here it is, I'm going to this event where I get to meet my icons and get honored as being this amazing, rocket ship of a business. And yet I was barely able to get her out of bed to go to the event with me to be honored for this. And that feeling of, I have this incredible thing that I feel super fulfilled and called to do that is also killing my wife. And that was both a high and a low point for me, like I've never had in one single event before.
Yeah.
And it's affected, the strategy, the way we've grown our business, because I think at the time, Rachel's a lot more introverted than I am. She likes to be more behind the scenes. She's very task driven and not very people leadership oriented. So we've had to have some very hard realizations that she's not going to be the front person of the business like I am, and she's not going to be the leader, take charge person. She's extremely capable in many different areas, and believe me, she is like the oil that greases everything around this company. But she doesn't have any direct reports because the whole direct managing thing is just not her thing. It just creates so much anxiety for her. So to realize both her and I are so aligned and so strong, together, but to feel that rift of we need to be very much serving in different ways. That was a really hard period for us for several years, and then still it's there's still work that needs to be done. We're still growing and we're hiring people and all this kind of stuff, and we had to kind of figure that out. And it took us several years to really work through all of that, but it's still a challenge. It's still something she has to fight today because, everything is trade-offs.
It's fairly common. A lot of people have that.
There's so many business entrepreneurs that struggle with anxiety, and it's amazing because it's not talked about very much. And it's especially with guys, it's very macho of oh yeah, I'm this invincible person. It's no, actually there's so many people
a lot of
out
pressure
there that struggle. And a lot of it's just pressure you put on yourself, Rachel, she doesn't really give much of a crap what other people think of her, but it's about what she doesn't want to be a failure. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's a huge thing that is a struggle for high performers.
So Brian, on the flip side, one of the proudest.
Oh gosh, proudest moments, huh? There have been a lot of proud moments, honestly. That's a good question. I think of a proud moment. For me, it hasn't been like any one single event probably that's been like, oh, this is the proudest day I've ever had. I think for me, it's about everything that drives me is about leading by example.
Yeah.
So I put a lot of pressure on myself. That's why I read so much material, is because I know, John Maxwell has this concept called the leadership lid. Says that you're always going to be, as the CEO, you're always going to be the lid for your organization. So in order to grow your company, you have to grow yourself.
Yeah.
And that like strikes me to the core. So I'm like, I have to continually make myself better, more competent, capable, more caring, more empathetic, smarter, all around, so that I can provide better direction and leadership to all my team. I think one of the things that's been most gratifying now, having invested several years into members of my team, is seeing how things run when I'm not here. Definitely I spend a lot of time bringing my special magic, and I spend a lot of time delegating and only spending my time on the things that I can do, like this interview, for example. But at the same time, like when my team is taking care of stuff and I get to see them start to excel in ways that even I couldn't, like somebody who's a little stronger relationally than I am, help to mediate two people that are having a miscommunication in a way that I know that I even couldn't, but I know I provided leadership to that whole situation.
Right.
That to me, in a very non-flashy way, is like so deeply satisfying, knowing that I'm affecting and helping grow people in their own personal development, leadership, and opportunities. It's like it's something that I didn't expect when I first started this company, but it's something that as I'm going along, I'm like, wow, this is like fruits of labor that I could not have even foreseen, but I'm driven towards accomplishing more of that now.
Yeah. So Brian, I know we're right at the time. Tell people, where can they find out more? Where should they go?
Absolutely. So my website is gouletpens.com. That's
Goulet pens.com.
Or you can just search fountain pens, Goulet, or whatever, and you'll find it.
He's all over the internet,
all over the place there, especially YouTube. We're pretty active on Instagram too, so you can check out Goulet Pens on Instagram. We name all of our different profiles with Goulet Pens, so you should check Twitter, you can check Periscope, you can check
Facebook,
YouTube. We're on all of those things. Me personally, if you are more driven to like the business side of things, I don't talk about this stuff quite as much on the Goulet Pens channels because it's a little more pen focused.
For sure.
But me personally, I've got a Twitter handle, Brian Goulet _, and then I'm on Instagram at brian.goulet, and then I'm on Snapchat as well as just Brian Goulet.
Brian, hugely valuable. Everyone should check out gouletpens.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been an honor. I hope somebody gets something out of this.
They will, for sure.
Thanks.